Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the #1 professional wrestling radio show in Las Vegas. This is the Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. Going bell to bell with the best in professional wrestling news, entertainment, and lots of Sin City surprises from inside the squared circle. Now, let's get to all the exciting pro wrestling action and bring on the host. Here is Mark Hoke.
Yeah, baby, it's time for a little Hokamania. Yeah, let's do it, Las Vegas. Good morning, everybody. Oh, man, we are 1 week away from Easter. Oh, just got through St. Patrick's Day. Oh, I took my daughter for a Shamrock Shake yesterday. A little late on that one, but she deserved it. Those teenagers, what are you going to do? Actually, it was totally my fault. I take the blame on that. I had a craving yesterday. Yeah, I know I'm dropping weight, but, sometimes you have one of those weeks. And the kid deserved it, too. So, doing what you got to do. But we're doing a little pro wrestling here on KDAWN 101.5 FM, the talk of Las Vegas. Also out there on the Odyssey app worldwide. So wherever you are on this planet, or maybe you're off this planet, a lot of us pro wrestling fans tend to get into outer space a little bit, and that's okay. You're allowed, everybody. It's all right. And, of course, we are also live streaming on YouTube and Facebook. So if you want to go to the Mark Hoke Show on either of those venues and say hi to us in our chat box. We welcome comments. Love to get your thoughts on what's going on in the world of pro wrestling, because there is a ton of things happening. We're only 2 weeks away from WrestleMania, and we have an AEW pay-per-view coming up here on the 20th, plus TNA is going to be in town that weekend as well, April 20th and the 21st at the Palms. Of course, they've got their big Rebellion pay-per-view coming up, so that's going to be exciting. You better get your tickets. I know those were selling pretty quick. So you want to make sure if you're here in Las Vegas, you want to go to that. Don't waste any time. Don't mess around. What are you doing? You can go to TNAwrestling.com or stop in at the Palms and get your tickets. It's going to be awesome. Awesome, I tell you. So join in the fun. Had a great time there last pay-per-view at Hard to Kill in the TV tapings. So don't miss out. What are you doing? Join us all and have fun. It's going to be terrific. Oh, man, but it is an exhausting couple of weeks in pro wrestling. And this week, no exception, in and out of the ring. And to help us out in the second hour, we're going to be hearing from one of the preeminent guys in pro wrestling media. Jeremy Lambert's going to be joining us from Fightful.com. That man is one busy son of a gun, and we are looking forward to having him join us on the show. So looking forward to hearing from Jeremy, getting his thoughts on everything happening in the world of pro wrestling from his view. Of course, he does his live show In the Weeds with our good friend Joel Pearl, Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays on YouTube. So you can check that out on Fightful Overbooked on YouTube. Take a look at that. They're a lot of fun and, good friends. So appreciate Jeremy coming on the show. He'll be joining us in the next hour. That should be terrific. I know Ruben Bressler's going to be on with me next week, my good friend, and we'll get his input over the next couple of weeks as we head into WrestleMania week. But we also have a very special announcement, a couple of them coming up. And I think we'll save those. So I'm going to tease you a little bit, but I will say it has to do with three Hall of Famers. That's right. So stick around for that. We'll be mentioning some big stuff as three of them are going to be here in Las Vegas. And one of them is going to be joining us here in the studio. So brace yourselves, kids. It's going to be pretty amazing. Well, what's going on in pro wrestling this week, you ask? Well, let's talk about it, shall we? Oh, I'm going to save this book that came out from a certain female former MMA fighter. Let's get into what happened in the ring as we continue the build for WrestleMania. Monday Night Raw saw 3 teams qualify for that 6-pack World Tag Team Championship Challenge. That's right. The undisputed WWE Tag Team Championships are going to be on the line at WrestleMania as the Judgment Day, Finn Balor and Damian Priest, who is still sitting on that Money in the Bank case. They got stuck in a 6-pack tag team ladder match challenge. That sounds like they're going to walk out with the titles, doesn't it, everybody? Best of luck. I guess they could pull it off. Doubtful, but who knows? But Finn Balor and Damian Priest have 3 of their opponents determined. It will be DIY, Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa. That amazing tag team will be one of the opponents. The New Day, they're going to be in there. They won their challenge match. And they beat Alpha Academy. So Chad Gable continues to be on a cold streak here as he's still looking for a spot on the card. See and Otis come up short. And then the team that I think everybody is hoping is going to win this thing. It is Awesome Truth. That's right, kids. They're back together. The Miz and R-Truth. And R-Truth has just been torturing. In a good way, I guess. I suppose. The Judgment Day. He wanted to be in Judgment Day. They should have let him in. And now look what happens. He was harmless. Oh, Ron Killing's hanging out with him, pat him on the head. Say, good boy, And now you got him all upset. Even though I don't know if Ron Killing is upset, but R-Truth and The Miz will be challenging for the tag team championships. And if R-Truth just remembers where they're supposed to be, Truth, Philadelphia, at the Link. Just ask anybody there. Make him a trail of cheesesteaks, whatever you got to do. And have the trail of cheesesteaks going all the way up the ladder. That's right. Just put one big one up there at the top and say, Truth, follow cheesesteaks. He'll go, yeah. And it doesn't matter if it's Pat's or Geno's or Tony Luke's, whatever. Just say, follow the cheesesteaks. Right up to the belts. And remind you got to pull them down, too. Attach cheesesteaks to the belts. And he and The Miz could be walking out of WrestleMania as the World Tag Team Champions. That's right. The other opponents have not been determined yet. There's still 2 more teams that are going to be in this match. They are having qualifying tournaments. I don't know why they didn't just get this over with. But Grayson Waller and Austin Theory are still on the hunt for that. They beat the OC. Street Profits beat the Authors of Pain. So they're going to be facing off in another qualifying match. I would imagine I put Street Profits in there. But we'll see who the other 2 teams are coming up next week on SmackDown. So we're waiting to see who gets those WrestleMania spots. Probably waiting for about 4 more matches to get added to the card. I would say somewhere in that ballpark. We'll see how this all turns out. I'm looking like Rey Mysterio and Santos Escobar are going to be involved in there, but we're also looks like Naomi and Bianca Belair might be challenging for the women's tag team titles, and boy, would that be ironic after everything that happened with Naomi and Sasha Banks / Mercedes Moné, that Naomi would end up coming back and winning the world tag team titles again. How the world goes in a circle sometimes. Absolutely incredible. But that's looking like another possibility for a match. We'll see what else they come up with. They'll try and get as many people involved in WrestleMania as possible, but that's kind of where the card stands right now. Also taking place, Cody got in a promo on Monday Night Raw. with Paul Heyman, which then, of course, led to the Cody face-off with Roman Reigns. Well, all right. Cody's was pretty good, but Cody was not PG-13. I don't know if the standards and practices are loosening up over there, but yeah, Cody was not exactly talking to the 10-year-olds in the audience when he was speaking to The Rock. But Roman Reigns, it's kind of tough for Roman, I think, because he's having to follow one of the great entertainers on the planet today. And Roman was setting the bar for 3.5 years, and now The Rock rolls in the door. And it's almost looking like amateur hour for Roman. This is difficult for him right now. Very difficult. And it wasn't like Roman did a bad job on his promo or anything, but it's not The Rock. But how are you supposed to follow one of the best actors on the planet? I don't know. Difficult position for him. And of course, The Rock's getting in trouble. They're having to submit his scripts to Fox. He's getting out there running over time, swearing. He's got women flashing him. The poor censors. As somebody that does production for radio shows and sometimes has to hit the magic dump button because people are stupid, don't know you can't swear on the radio. I feel bad for those guys in there. They've got to be like cats in a room full of rocking chairs. Just like, oh my God, what's going to happen now? Because they're not just watching The Rock. They're waiting for The Rock to drop one. But they've got these goofball fans out there. The ladies are lifting their shirts up. The chants are going out. The fans are saying stuff that it's getting picked up on the mics. It's not fun. It's not. The Rock is just taking things back to the Attitude Era, and Fox is not enjoying it very much at all. But yes, they are apparently submitting their scripts for The Rock to Fox for approval. I'm sure The Rock doesn't care in the least. But pretty interesting stuff going on there. Let's see what else did we have on that. Yeah, I mean, that was pretty much it in terms of what happened in WWE. So just another build to the week up for this week and getting ready for WrestleMania in WWE. But one other thing that happened in WWE this week was Ronda Rousey's book is coming out. And Ronda Rousey, oh boy, she had some choice words about had been going on in WWE and Vince McMahon. Yikes. We're going to talk about that when we come back. So stick around. We've got a whole lot more here on the Mark Hoke Show here on 101.5 FM with the Talk of Las Vegas. And I'm going to also have a little special announcement when we return too. So stick around, everybody. We got a whole lot more. It's the best in pro wrestling news and entertainment here on KDAWN. Be right back.
101.5 FM KDAWN. This is the Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. Here again, your host, Mark Hoke.
And let's get back to it. The best pro wrestling news and entertainment here on the Mark Hoke Show, 101.5 FM. It's streaming on the Odyssey app. And, of course, we're also out there on Facebook and YouTube. We'd love to hear from you. So stop on into that chat box. Give us your comments. And, of course, coming up, hour number 2, Jeremy Lambert from Fightful.com. And before I forget, I want to make sure that I gave a shout-out to one of the most dominant performances maybe in collegiate athletics history as the Penn State Nittany Lions won the NCAA championship last night. Just an incredible performance. 4 national championships. They had 6 guys in the finals. Guys, they won this by 100 points. And if you're not familiar with collegiate wrestling, that's about like winning a football game by like 65. It was ridiculous. Set a record for the largest margin of victory in a collegiate tournament. Penn State scored 172.5 points. Cornell in that tournament scored 72.5. Michigan was third at 71. Absolutely unbelievable performance by the Nittany Lions. Carter Starachi and Aaron Brooks won their fourth national titles. Only 5 people in history had done that, and they have 2 on the same team in the same year. So congratulations to Penn State. Unreal season for them, as 8 All-Americans as well. Way to go, guys. So congratulations to Penn State. Now, we have Ronda Rousey has a book coming out called Our Fight, as she discusses her career and thoughts on a whole lot of different topics. And she apparently wanted to write a whole lot more about what happened in WWE, but they kind of limited her a little bit, and probably a good thing. Accused WWE of having a casting couch culture, and believes Vince McMahon wishes he could have a restricted women's rights situation like they have in Saudi Arabia, and accused them of having a foundational sexist patriarchal culture. And there was a massive write-up. So many quotes were taken out of this section of the book. I don't want to read the whole thing, but this was something else. Just a little bit of it started in NXT was founded by and under the control of Triple H, real name Paul Levesque. In addition to being my in-ring WrestleMania nemesis, he is arguably one of the best professional wrestlers in history and one of the better people on the business side. He's married to Stephanie McMahon, who is the daughter of WWE's Emperor Palpatine, Vince McMahon. Vince took over the company from his father in the early 1980s and spent the better part of 40 years playing a real-world pro wrestling version of Monopoly, buying up and absorbing smaller promotions until he basically owned them all. It's hard sometimes to know where the evil, unethical slimeball character of Vince McMahon played out for the camera ends and the actual questionable, ethical, many times sued and multiple times accused of sexual misconduct Vince McMahon begins. That blurred the line between character and reality is a recurring theme within the WWE universe. The Saudi Arabia line, she added, pay-per-views are held in major cities like New York, Los Angeles, and Philadelphia, as well as now twice a year in Saudi Arabia, a nation that restricts the rights of women in a way that I'm certain Vince McMahon wishes he could. Some other comments that she made. Let's see. WWE loves to do well-produced video segments about the legacy of women within the organization, but the truth is women have largely been footnotes. For the longest time, they were relegated to serving male characters in a valet role, an overly sexualized supporting character that takes cheap shots when the ref isn't looking. Over time, as the level of female talent grew and society as a whole started to shift, the organization gradually expanded the role of female wrestlers. Women weren't just being demeaned backstage, but center stage up until 2007. Bra and panties matches where female wrestlers won the match by stripping their opponent down to her underwear were an actual thing. Even after that gimmick was retired by WWE executives, I'm sure very reluctantly and with a lot of lamenting about political correctness, it was still clear that the organization placed more value on a woman's physical appearance than her physical ability. Yeah, and it just kind of went on from there. Ronda absolutely tore them apart. Just one more. 4 women were given less time to collectively wrestle than every single man on the roster got for his intro music alone. I presented this information as a person outside of the wrestling world. You might draw the conclusion that there is a troubling, foundational, sexist, patriarchal culture within the WWE. You would be right. I have nothing but respect for the female wrestlers who paved the way for women wrestlers today, and nothing but disgust for the amount of sexist, degrading bleep they were put through. And she has said that she has no desire to go back to WWE, though certainly a possibility that now that Vince is out of there, now she may reconsider it. But, of course, she also had other comments about people that were involved, like Bruce Pritchard, who she's called Vince's avatar, and John Laurinaitis. She appeared on a show called Live Signing. She continued her criticism of WWE and cannot say what she said, but she said they can go blank themselves. Speaking of Pritchard and Laurinaitis, she would have written more about them, but she was limited by a word count. But boy, I'll tell you, just really bad. Just said the only thing that really held me back was the number of words I was allowed to have in this book. Contractually held to 9,000 words, and I was going to talk so much more, especially about Laurinaitis and Pritchard. But editor said we had to streamline everything and not take a detour on the bleep those old bastards quest. So there was a lot more that I had to basically get down to the meat and potatoes in this. So needless to say, Ronda Rousey did not have a good time in WWE. Woo! Oh my goodness. That'll be an interesting book to read, won't it? I'm sure. I'm obviously Ronda's going to be talking a lot more about her career, but yikes. And as we've seen with everything coming out about Vince McMahon, this is certainly not going to be a view that will be disputed, I would imagine, in the annals of professional wrestling. Wow. So Ronda Rousey taking the strap to Vinnie Mac and WWE a little bit there. Unreal. But of course, some other items coming out about Vince McMahon, and apparently there's been a statement coming out that speaking to Dave Meltzer on Wrestling Observer, that after this lawsuit with Janelle Grant had gone public, of course, this was the one that kind of triggered everything and got Brock Lesnar in trouble and got Vince thrown off the board of TKO, which is the parent company for WWE. Of course, they oversee WWE and UFC now. That pretty much everybody has stopped defending Vince McMahon, and good Lord, it's about time. And it's tough. And you know that so many people worked under Vince, and they're used to, if you make Vince mad, it's probably going to end your pro wrestling career, at least until, say, AEW is out there. But you were just about done. So very intimidating to do so. But they said that, according to Dave Meltzer, that WWE has since thrown in the towel on him, and no one's trying to defend him. And according to Meltzer, they said most women were pretty repulsed by that lawsuit, including in the company. Meltzer's quote continues, obviously there are people in the company who looked at that thing, and the first thing he tried to do was defend him, this and that. A lot of people did not try and defend him at all within the company. I mean, people who are even in the situation where they've been trying to defend other people in the company. To me, no one bothers trying to defend Vince to me anymore. It's almost like they've thrown in the towel on him. It's like he's gone, and we can't even try to defend him. And yeah, what are you going to do? What's to defend? I know John Laurinaitis is apparently trying to defend himself, which I find very interesting. I suppose, you've got your name kind of dragged through the mud on this thing. This is some fascinating stuff, to say the least, because Laurinaitis is trying to defend himself from any wrongdoing. And if you have not read the Janelle Grant lawsuit, of course, the reason this whole thing became public was because Vince McMahon had made a $3 million settlement with her and stopped paying it. A brilliant Vince McMahon decision. So her attorney sued. And I would imagine there's going to be a lot more money that's going to be getting paid to Miss Grant. If you have not read it, just brace yourself, because it's like you're going to get hit with a pebble, and then you're going to get hit with a stone. You're going to get hit with 2 stones and 4 stones and then a rock and then a brick, and it just gets worse and worse and worse. If you're up for some reading, it's 67 pages of yikes, wow, and ugh. But John Laurinaitis has apparently formally acknowledged Janelle Grant's lawsuit, and he has said he's filed a waiver of service, so he knows it's there. He's going to respond in 60 days. 61-year-old was accused by Grant of sexually assaulting her during her relationship with McMahon. And, some pretty bad stuff. So Laurinaitis is saying that he was a victim of McMahon himself. I don't know. I guess we'll see how that plays out. But all right, whatever. Good luck. Good luck, Johnny. Johnny Ace. Dude, you better just get on a surfboard, get out your checkbook. That would be my suggestion. And just kind of head on over to Aruba or something. It's nice down there, dude. Oh, my God. What a mess. What a mess. But that's how it goes. All right. So that's Ronda Rousey and that story. And if WWE, I know they're trying to make this go away, but good luck. Good luck. All right. So let's see. What else we got going on here? Oh, and I got these announcements to make before we head to break. I think that would be a really good idea because we got a lot of stuff with AEW, and I'm going to kind of, source that into our last segment. So I want to let everybody know that I am going to. Well, you know what? Let's do the first one first. Booker T is going to be on SportsX Radio here. I'm going to be sitting in for Ken Thompson on Friday night, and we're going to have Booker T here in studio on Friday. So along with Brad Gilmore, who was on the show last week. So it should be pretty cool. So we're looking forward to having Booker T joining us Friday. So tune in 6 to 8 right here on KDAWN, 101.5 FM. The Hall of Famer Booker T is going to be coming in. So that should be a lot of fun. Looking forward to having Booker T joining us on Friday. So make sure you tune in for that. And I'm sure we'll be taking that interview and bringing it over here next Sunday as well for Easter. So there you go. There's something for your Easter basket. Booker T. Should be a terrific time. And then 2 weeks from now, and actually Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, they have turned me loose at the Vegas Toy Con. That's right. I am going to be the on-stage host. That's right. I am going to be hosting the Vegas Toy Con. Oh, my God. They are insane. Of course, I was out there last year helping out and doing some stuff with Sergeant Slaughter, and we had him on the show. Well, this year, they're just having me out there Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and I'm going to be taking care of business there. Mick Foley and Sting are going to be at the event, and I'm going to be hosting all the Q&As. Mick Foley is going to be kind of the big one for you wrestling fans, but Future Stars of Wrestling is going to have some people out there like Brian Cage, Danny Limelight, Chris Bay. Should be a great time for them. They're actually going to be wrestling at the World Trade Center out there. There's a Friday night press conference. And then over the weekend, we have a whole list of not just wrestlers, but some terrific superstars in the world of entertainment. Amy Jo Johnson, the Pink Power Ranger, is going to be out there. So that is going to be pretty cool. We've also got Mario Lopez from Saved by the Bell is going to be there. And he will be on stage. I'll get to talk to Mario Lopez and Amy Jo as well. The guys from the Toy Express, you've seen them on Pawn Stars, they're going to be there. I've also got Kyle Phillips, who is a voice actor, does a lot of different anime shows like My Hero Academia, Marco the Phoenix. We're also going to have Tia Ballard and Dawn Bennett. They also do other anime shows. Tia does Zero Two and My Hero Academia, as does Dawn Bennett. Dawn Bennett also on Kale and Dragon Ball Z. I'll be getting to talk to them as well. Also appearing in the show, Adam Rodriguez from CSI Miami and Criminal Minds. That should be exciting. So this is going to be a terrific time. And if you have not gotten your tickets yet, I would highly recommend that you do so. This event is 12 days away, running Friday through Sunday. You get to get a chance to meet Mick Foley and Sting. So you get autographs and VIP events, all sorts of terrific stuff going on. We would love to see you out at the Vegas Toy Con. Once again, it's going to be at the World Market Expo, April 5th through the 7th. And all these things are going to be live streaming as well on the website, vegastoycon.com. And yeah, so I'm going to be hosting this event. It's going to be awesome. So we got Booker T coming in here, and then it's Mick Foley and Sting at the Vegas Toy Con. How about that? So tack that onto your WrestleMania weekend. Woo! Cannot wait. Should be awesome. I said awesome a couple times. It's because it's going to be awesome, baby. Yeah. Oh, I'm psyched. I am psyched. Yeah, I'm only going to be interviewing Mick Foley in front of the world and a live audience. No big deal. So breathe on, kids. All right, so let's take a break. And when we come back, 2 new champions in AEW. Oh, boy. And one wins it with a rather vicious plan, to say the least. So stick around, everybody. We've got a whole lot more on the Mark Hoke Show coming up. And second hour, it's Jeremy Lambert from Fightful.com. We'll be right back.
.101.5 FM KDAWN. You're listening to the #1 professional wrestling radio show in Vegas, The Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. Now, here again is Mark Hoke.
All right, let's keep it rolling here. Ring that bell. Oh, that's right. It already went off. Welcome back to The Mark Hoke Show, the best in pro wrestling news and entertainment here on 101.5 FM. It is the talk of Las Vegas. Man, got to check the ratings reports, and we're awesome. There, I said it again. We're stupendous. We're amazing. We're incredible. And we are because of all of you out there listening to the show. So thank you very much. We do appreciate it. I saw Gary Johnson, the Ripple Man, checked in. Gave me some funny news. It is funny. That's okay. Very happy to have all of you out there tuning in. Thank you from the bottom of our hearts. We are the top live show here on KDAWN. And sometimes we're just the best, period. It's pretty cool that people are tuning in to listen to our show on Sunday mornings. And, of course, we're out there live streamed on YouTube and Facebook. And we've got all sorts of great content on YouTube. And I do apologize. No, we're behind. Some stuff going on with the kid. I'll get caught up, I promise. But, of course, we also have markhokeshow.podbean.com, where you can go back and listen to all of our past episodes. Just give us a like on X. Well, that'll help. Subscribe to us on YouTube. That would be appreciated. Facebook. Well, go to markhokeshow.com. And come out and say hi to me at the Vegas Toy Con, vegastoycon.com. Get your tickets. Everybody here in Vegas should be going to the Vegas Toy Con. And it's not just the guests. I mean, geez, there's going to be hundreds and hundreds of vendors out there selling toys, and just there's neat stuff. Trust me. Bring the kids. Just trust me, you better have a little bit extra money in your wallet, because you're going to want to pick something up, guaranteed. All right, let's take a look at what happened at AEW this week. Of course, with the NCAA basketball tournament going on, they kind of had to consolidate the schedule, and they decided to do a 3-hour combined show with Dynamite and Rampage. No Collision, because of all the basketball games. But the 3-hour show gave them a little more time, and boy, did they use it. 2 titles change hands as Eddie Kingston's Continental Championship goes poof in a rainstorm. That's right, the Rainmaker, as Chica Okada takes down Eddie Kingston and wins the Continental Championship from Eddie. So the Elite celebrating backstage with Tony Khan as he wins the belt. So Okada gets his first title just like that in a matter of a couple of weeks, as he is now going to be running around with a little bit of gold. So congratulations to Okada. as he is now the Continental Champion. But, of course, the wild one as Adam Copeland. Of course, you WWE fans know him as Edge, the Rated R Superstar. You can call him that because WWE didn't copyright it, trademark it. Whoops. But the Rated R Superstar is once again the TNT champion as the third match in the series with him and Christian Cage in an I Quit match. And golly gee whiz. I'd suggest going back and watching that one. Wow. Everybody and their grandmother got involved as well, at least Mom. Shane Wayne was in the ring. Nick Wayne kill switch on the behalf of Christian Cage. Daddy Magic gets in there. Daniel Garcia. As those guys cuffed kill switch and Nick Wayne into corners. And then they cuffed Christian Cage in a corner. And the bleeding Adam Copeland then goes out and gets his friend Spike. Copeland gives Mr. Cage a few kicks to the huevos rancheros and then gives him a few hits in yon nether regions with Spike. If you don't know what Spike is a plank with a lot of nails sticking out of the end of it. This was not good for Mr. Cage and any possibilities of having any more children. And to his credit, Christian did not quit. Nope, he would not quit. But there's a lot of nails on Spike. A lot. And Adam was like, okay, not going to quit. Bryce Remsburg referee is kind of looking at him like, you can do? No? Okay. And Copeland takes that big old Spike and leans back and takes it back over the back of his head. And he's getting ready to haul off and nail Christian in the melon. And Christian yells in the mic, I quit. And the match is over. And Adam Copeland is your new TNT champion. And Christian Cage gets to keep his facial features. So congratulations to both. That's a double victory. Way to go. But two new champions in AEW. So the landscape changes very quickly as we get ready to head into this next pay-per-view, the AEW Dynasty pay-per-view in St. Louis, which is April 21st. So that's not very far away. We're just about 4 weeks out-ish. But pretty interesting that we put two new champions on the board as we head into that. A guy who is not champion is Wardlow, of course, who lost his match with Samoa Joe. As his job in the Undisputed Kingdom, as designated by Adam Cole, was to win the AEW World Championship. Did not get it done last week. And, well, Adam Cole wasn't happy. Cut a promo. Of course, Cole is still recovering from that shattered ankle and called Wardlow a failure and said, okay, since you couldn't do that, well, now your job is to go out and protect the other championships. So Roderick Strong's got the AEW International Championship, and, Taven and Bennett have the Ring of Honor tag titles. Just make sure they don't lose them. Let's see if you can pull that off. We're going to help you reach your potential, but I'm disappointed. And so Adam Cole taking a little more serious turn, but he's not happy with his fellow Kingdom teammate, Undisputed Kingdom teammate. And, pretty sad state of affairs there. Looks like they're already sick of Wardlow. I don't know, but Adam Cole was displeased, to say the least. So, but still waiting on Adam Cole. And of course, he and MJF went out at the same time. Cole got hurt a little bit sooner, but MJF was injured as well. Hip and the shoulder. The shoulder has been the worst of the two problems. But the irony is that whole thing with them being friends and the setup to that, and both of them are on the shelf. So we're still waiting to see how long Cole and MJF will be making their return. It's going to be a little bit. So we'll find out when we get to see both of them back in an AEW ring. So we'll see. And, of course, the war of words, by the way, with Jack Perry. Yeah, Jungle Boy, who went over to New Japan, and he's ever since he got suspended for the whole thing with CM Punk that caused Punk to get fired from AEW. Well, there was a rumor that he had apologized to Tony Khan, and Jack Perry's like, hell no. It's a bunch of crap. I didn't apologize to Tony Khan. Anything wrong. Screw Tony Khan. And he's causing all sorts of trouble in New Japan and mixing up with Sonata over there. And yeah. So Jack Perry's playing it pretty straight on this. Meanwhile, Tony Khan's like, yeah, Jack's doing great work. But a dispute over if Jack Perry has apologized to Tony or not for what happened. Of course, that was the real glass comment that he made at All In that set off CM Punk and started the fight that supposedly got Tony Khan physically involved. Just a big mess. But, of course, he's not Jungle Boy anymore, but he was one of the 4 pillars, and we're not seeing him anymore. So we'll find out if Jack Perry ever gets back to AEW, but if he does, it's certainly going to be with quite a different attitude. By the way, speaking of the real glass comment, I don't know if you saw it, but Drew McIntyre on social media said that CM Punk was made of real glass in a social media promo. Oh, Drew is just tearing Punk apart. Oh, man. We still got like 6 more months of him ripping CM Punk. You guys know that, right? That torn tricep is going to be McIntyre is going to make it the longest 6 months of Punk's life. Unbelievable. So Drew McIntyre keeping it rolling. All right, and that is going to just about wrap up hour number 1 here on the Mark Hoke Show. When we come back, hour number 2, it is Jeremy Lambert from Fightful.com. Always fun to have the J-Man on here. Of course, you can always check out his work at Fightful.com, and In the Weeds does a great show with Joel Pearl. We're going to hear from him in hour number 2. And please don't forget to follow us. No, don't forget. Just do it right now. MarkHokeShow.com, The Mark Hoke Show on Facebook, YouTube, Mark Hoke Show on X. Just do it. Just search it. It's real easy. It is. Honest to God. See, look at me right now. I'm on the live stream saying, come on, let's do it. So stick around. We've got a whole lot more in hour number 2. Jeremy Lambert, always a terrific conversation with him. And boy, I've got some loaded questions for him. He's always saying that Bryan Danielson is the GOAT. But was Bryan Danielson right about some comments he made in an interview a little while ago? I'm going to hit him with it right over the head. So stick around, everybody. We've got hour 2 of the Mark Hoke Show coming up here in just a little bit. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Want more of The Mark Hoke Show? Follow us on Twitter at Mark Hoke Show, like us on Facebook at The Mark Hoke Show, and visit MarkHokeShow.com to keep up with everything happening with the show. And remember to check out all of our archive shows on YouTube at The Mark Hoke Show and download our podcasts at markhokeshow.podbean.com and all your favorite podcast outlets. So join The Mark Hoke Show family today, and thanks for listening.